Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Folge Let's Play Retro The Longest Journey. Wir springen in unsere Journey rein, sind in Kapitel 2 und sind hier im Hafen aktuell. Und jetzt weiß ich gar nicht, haben wir hier gesprochen? City. Dann sprechen wir mal mit.
Judging by his ungainly stance, I'd say he's a mariner pining for the sea.
Dann sprechen wir einfach mal mit dem hier. Nein.
Ahoy there, matey!
Pardon?
Isn't that how you sailors greet each other?
No.
What do you say then?
Usually, hello. And if it's sunny, nice day for it. We might even try a how are you today then, if we're feeling adventurous. But never, ever, ahoy.
This is valuable information.
Aye, matey, that it be.
Hat er da einen Stock durch sich durchstecken, durch den Bauch und durch sich?
Why aren't you out at sea?
Do you see the sail on that barge over there?
Yes.
Is it flapping?
What?
Is it flapping? Is the sail flapping in the wind?
No.
And why is that then?
Because it's not
Windy?
windy?
Exactly.
Well, can't you just use oars or something?
Oh, what an excellent idea. Now, why didn't we think of that? Of course. Oars! By Jaw's stunted left arm, that's it. Why have we been moored to the dock for a month with our merchandise dropping in value when we could have just rowed our way to Gien?
Are you being sarcastic?
Sarcastic? Me? What in Jaw's name makes you think that?
How long's it been since the last wind?
Near a month. Ever since that accursed alchemist put some kind of spell on the wind. The Moja'll be cursed if I know why. But it's a bloody catastrophe. I've sent some good people of mine up north to deal with him. But not one has returned.
Okay, ich
Now
sind da
the
mal.
Reed High Council speak of sending an entire army platoon to sort him out. But I'm afraid that just might piss him off.
Ich schätze mal, das ist unsere nächste Mission.
Who's this alchemist who cast a spell on the wind?
I believe his name is Clax. Roper Clax. Lives in a bloody rock somewhere up north, beyond Riverwood.
Thanks for the chat.
Aye.
Ach, aber Eis sagen sie. Ahoi nicht, aber Eis sagen sie. Okay. Ah, nein, nicht Small Pier. Big Boat? Ah. So, ich war auf dem schmalen Pier. Ich war da drüben beim... Aha, gut. Also ich war da drüben beim Schiff, ich war hier auf dem schmalen Pier. Da ist alles nichts, was ich was machen kann. Also zurück zur City, zu den Stadttoren. Ich muss sagen, das Design der Schiffe, das gefällt mir so ein bisschen. Also irgendwie hat das Spiel schon was. Ich gehe noch nicht so weit wie viele Anhänger dieses Spiels und sage, es ist das beste Spiel aller Zeiten. Aber im Allgemeinen mir gefallen halt, da war ich... Mi scusi. Ich dachte nicht, dass... Ich wollte nur wissen, ob es dasselbe Pier ist. Also rennen wir wieder zurück zur Stadt. Oder zu den Stadttoren, was ich hinaus wollte. Point-Click-Adventure mag ich im Allgemeinen. Das hat man bestimmt in dem Kanal schon gemerkt. Baphomets Fluch. Immer noch für mich eine der besten Spielreihen der Welt. Das beste Spiel natürlich der Welt ist und bleibt Tales of the Tentacle. Wobei man jetzt, was ja eigentlich der Nachfolger von Maniac Mansion ist, wobei ich da jetzt muss sagen, ich hab mir jetzt mal diese 3D Remake Edition gekauft, und ich weiß eigentlich, klar, man weiß noch so ein paar Eckpunkte, aber storytechnisch, also lösungswegtechnisch weiß ich gar nichts mehr. Es wird lustig, wenn wir das mal zusammen let's playen. So, und ich denke, wir sollten jetzt mit ihm hier nochmal sprechen.
Excuse me, Mr. Tobias?
Tobias. Just call me Tobias, please. I require no ceremony from a distinguished guest such as yourself. Did you enjoy the sights?
I don't know. I'm overwhelmed. Walking around out there, seeing with my own two eyes things that can't possibly exist. I kept thinking, it's all a dream. I'll wake up at any moment now and everything will return to normal. But then I realized, I'm still here. It's real. I can touch it. I can smell it. And you know what? It doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense here. Magic, alien creatures, parallel worlds. I don't believe in those things. I don't believe in fairy tales.
Ja, also,
In your
ich auch nicht.
world, in Stark, there is no room for magic. That is and always has been the curse of science, the fallibility of logic and order. They leave no room for the imagination. If it does not fit into the narrow perception of the laws of nature that your world adheres to, it's a fairy tale. But then, magic has its downsides too. It's unpredictable. It invites chaos. It puts the balance in peril in a way that science alone never could.
I keep hearing about the balance and about Stark and Arcadia and... This is probably going to sound strange to you, but I'm clueless. I have no idea what this place is or what I'm doing here or... All I know is that something strange is happening in my world, I guess. I had dreams, and the dreams felt so real, and then things started happening in real life too. Things that couldn't happen, and
I think I will begin at the very beginning. I believe that is why you were sent here, to learn, to understand, to see for yourself. Like you said, you cannot believe in this place. Well, you will. After you have learned the truth, you will. Come with me, and I will tell you the story of Earth as your books never have. And when your eyes and ears are open to the truth, perhaps your mind will follow. We can only hope. Come.
Okay.
This is the true story of the balance, as observed by the Sentinel, the order of the balance, the Fathers. The Sentinel Minstrom committed this story to the pages of the scriptures and to these temple walls thousands of years ago, so that coming generations could learn and understand their past and their future. The wall paintings we are looking at became known as the murals of the balance, and it is through these images that I will recount our common history to you, April Ryan. The story begins and ends here, with this mural. Ages ago and ages to come, Earth was one, and magic and science existed side by side in nature and in all people. There was balance, and there was harmony.
you're saying there was just one world then?
One world, one Earth. Magic and science in balance with each other, within each and every living creature. The power to make the stars dance and to create life itself was within our grasp. But then, humankind began to exploit this divine power of two, and they saw fit to use it for their own selfish purposes. the balance of the cosmos was in peril. Unless something was done, unless man was humbled and learned to fear the power he wrought over cosmos, the twilight of chaos would fall upon Earth. It had happened before, in distant times and on distant worlds, and it would happen again. And every man, woman, and child of every people and every race would be devoured by the coming apocalypse. We were given a visitation then. The Dragkin, having lived among us for untold generations, rose to offer their guidance and assistance in preserving the balance on our world.
Okay.
The Drag? I think I've heard that name before.
Dragkin, Draken, dragons, whichever name they go by, they remain the eternal servants and custodians of the balance. There were 4 of them here on Earth, and of the 4, one who would found the order of the balance, the Sentinel. The first minstrum were instructed that magic and science would have to be separated before the balance collapsed and brought untold disaster. Earth would have to be split in 2 equal parts. Arcadia and Stark, magic and science, chaos and order. The first Sentinel were counted 13, 6 scientists, 6 magicians, and one who was between, the Dragkin, our mentor, our custodian, our learned guide. Both magic and science were needed to perform this most difficult of tasks, to split a world in 2, to create 2 worlds from one.
Wasn't the use of that kind of power dangerous to the balance?
Yes, and so for this purpose, they built a tower to channel their powers and focus them on the divide that they would create. The kin had brought a disc with them, a disc forged in the fire of their world. Placed at the base of the tower and the epicenter of the divide, the disc and the tower would become one, a conduit for the flow of magic and science. At the appointed hour, the 13 came to the tower, and with them a woman, whose destiny was decided by the purpose to which she had been born. She would be the first guardian, the human protector of the balance, who would stay in the tower for 1,000 years to watch over the 2 worlds, and to ensure that the flows of magic and science were always equal. And so the ritual began. One world was to become 2, separated by the balance, and each world visible to the other only by way of dreams. Who was ushered into which world was not an arbitrary choice, nor one taken lightly. For the magical creatures, the choice was simple. They had to go to Arcadia. Their kind would not survive in Stark. But for others, families were torn apart, lovers separated, and friends lost for all eternity. Encircled by the 12 and the one who would be guardian, the disc at the base of the tower began to spin faster and faster as more and more power flowed through it, until it was a blur. Darkness enveloped the tower, but the disc glowed brighter and brighter. Reality turned, and in one moment, a new reality had been created, and 2 new worlds born. In the tower there was silence. The original disc had disappeared, and in its place was a smaller counterpart, a similar yet different disc. Around and outside the tower the world looked different. They were now between Stark and Arcadia, between reality and dream. This was the realm of the balance and of the guardian, and it would be her home for the next 1,000 years. The one who was kin picked up the disc and said, "This disc is a counterpart to the original disc, which has now become this realm, and the key to which has been split and divided in 4. The key is the disc, and the disc is this realm. This mystified the 12, and the one who was kin continued. Know only this: the Guardian's realm cannot be broken unless the disc is broken. But nor can it be repaired without the disc being repaired. The 4 pieces, that is the key, will be given to the 6 of you who are to be taken to Arcadia for safekeeping. Yet the key will never be complete, he went on, without the precious stones that adorn each piece. I will keep 1, and my fellow kin the 3 others. Should the day come when this realm must be repaired, or the worlds reunited, and that day will come, you will assemble the disc, and the kin will come together one last time. With that, 6 of the 13 went to Arcadia, and 6 to Stark, and the one who would be guardian ascended to the throne. Witness the mural, where her dreams and hopes, her very soul, were locked away in the disc. In service of the balance, these traits were nothing but barriers. Through new eyes, the imbalance between the worlds was as clear as the stars themselves to the Guardian, and with one thought, she channeled chaos from Arcadia and logic from Stark into the disc, and redistributed the power wherever it was needed. A new era had begun, the era of the Guardian. After they left the tower, 2 of the Drakkin went to Stark, the other 2 to Arcadia. The 6 who came to each world started what is now known as the Sentinel, the Order of the Balance.
Ich habe gerade ein bisschen Problem, das alles...
Sentinel thrived. In Stark, they did not. In Stark, the memories of magic and the balance could not survive in the face of the new reality of natural laws, of logic, and of science. And soon, very soon, Arcadia became nothing more than legend, a myth, tales of fairies to recount to impressionable children, and stories to frighten and entertain around a fire. And while dreams still brought sights and sounds of Arcadia to those asleep in Stark, they were discounted as mere dreams and nothing more.
So that's it? We forgot about our past and about Arcadia? And that's the way things are? Then what's wrong with that? And why does magic from Arcadia seem to have begun leaking through to Stark?
That is another long story. But I can tell that you are tired of stories, and so I shall be brief. As I told you, while in Arcadia, the Sentinel grew in numbers and in strength. In Stark, while flourishing for a brief time, they were soon diminished and powerless. Some of the Stark Sentinel did not take kindly to this, and they berated the Arcadian Sentinel for their politics and teachings. The Stark Sentinel wanted people to work towards reunification, while their brothers did not. So the inevitable soon came to pass, and the Stark Sentinel parted ways with their Arcadian brothers, and named themselves the Vanguard. And while at first their philosophy was not so different from ours, over the years it changed radically. The Vanguard wanted the divide torn down, the worlds reunited, and the return to what they called the Glorious Ages, when humankind could control the forces of cosmos. But first they needed their own servant in charge of the balance, their own guardian. Now, every 1,000 years, a new guardian took the place of the old one, because no one can be separated from their souls for any longer than 1,000 years. Every 1,000 years, a new guardian was born. The balance provided the seed from which a new fruit grew. But now, it has been 200 years since the previous guardian, the 12th guardian, was to be replaced. Every new child born to the balance has been taken away by the Vanguard, to be studied in an attempt to control them. In every instance so far they have failed. But the 12th guardian could wait no longer. Only a short time ago, the disk in the tower shattered, and the Guardian left his throne. The balance is now untended, and we have yet to find a new Guardian. Unless we do so, the Vanguard may get their chance. And they may be able to place their own puppet on the throne, to rule the balance according to their principles. And this we cannot allow. It will mean the end of Stark and Arcadia, and the dawn of an era of chaos. Now do you see?
I understand the history. I can even accept it. But I don't understand why I'm here and what Cortez wants with me.
The
Genau.
balance is in peril, April. The Guardian has abandoned his tower. He has disappeared, and there is no one to take his place. He must be reinstated to protect the balance until a new Guardian may be found.
And what can I do? I'm nobody. I've just been having a lot of bad dreams.
You are a strong shifter. I have not seen your like in my lifetime.
A shifter?
Someone capable of opening doors between worlds. A shift. A portal between the realms of Stark and Arcadia.
Are you kidding? I didn't do anything. Cortez was the one who opened the shift, and he just waved his hands around in the air. I don't think I'd be capable of opening a portal even if I had a magic wand.
Only a shifter's own power can allow her to travel. No one else can do this for her. Cortez only channeled your power to aid you. He would not be able to step through this shift himself.
Even if that's true, I don't have any control over my talent.
Not yet. But in time you will. How else do you intend to travel back to your world?
God, I hadn't even thought about that yet. Can't you help me?
I'm afraid not. Even if I could shift, I would not be able to channel through you like Cortez did.
So, I'm on my own?
If you have any questions, I will do my best to answer them. But aside from that, yes, you are.
That's so not cool.
No, it has been unseasonably warm. If you don't mind, I will return to my studies now. Thank you for listening to an old man and his long stories.
No, thank you. It's starting to make a little bit of sense now.
Okay, ich weiß, dass ich auf jeden Fall nachher mal die Geschichte nachzulesen habe, die er da gerade erzählt hat, weil da konnte ich gar nicht alles folgen. Also es gab da auf jeden Fall einen Drache und 12 von diesen Typen und wir lesen es einfach. Denn ich denke, wir kriegen wir in dieser Folge eh wahrscheinlich nicht mehr gemacht. Das war's mit Brian Westhouse, also steht die nächste Seite an. I've just been told the story of the balance by Westrom Tobias, and I figured I should try to write this down while I still remember bits and pieces of it. Talk about cryptic history. Tobias lost me somewhere around the 12 and the 1, like, excuse me, what? Genauso ging's mir auch, hey! But I think I got was ist das? The gist of it. There are two worlds. One is Stark, the world of science, what I call Earth, and then there's Arcadia, the world of magic, what people here call Earth. The two Earths, and then which gets a little confusing, but not half as confusing as what I came after. A long time ago, there was just one Earth, and this Earth had both magic and science. But mankind has always had a habit of serving things up. And this is what they did on the original Earth. They got too powerful. I learned how to move stars and be gods by combining the powers of magic and science. So an alien race called the Drykin decided to interfere to prevent mankind from destroying their own world. One of the so-called kin founded this religious movement called the Sentinel, or the Fathers, who are self-appointed watchers over the balance between magic and science. The Sentinel were instrumental in dividing the Earth into two dimensions, Stark and Arcadia, science and magic. There also put a woman in charge of controlling and channeling the balance between the two worlds, a guardian of the balance who lives in a tower in a sort of in-between realm, and who's replaced every 1,000 years by a new guardian. So then life goes on for like thousands of years, until the Sentinels start squabbling internally, and the Sentinel priests in Stark decided to break with their Arcadian friends and found this new cult or whatever called the Vanguard. Oh Gott, die Stelle muss ich gerade noch lesen. And so life goes on like thousands of years until the Sentinel starts squabbling eternally, and the Sentinel priests in Stark, found this new cult, whatever, called the Vanguard. The Vanguard want the world reunited, and they plan to do this by controlling the Guardian himself or herself. This is what they've been doing for a few thousand years now, destroying potential Guardians by performing experiments on them or something. My hand is starting to cramp up. I'm amazed I even remember half of this. Anyways, the current guardian couldn't stay any longer, and he left his tower in the middle of nowhere, and now the balance is in danger. Apparently, chaos can really do some serious damage to both Stark and Arcadia, which does remind me of my dream. I'm not sure that's the right word anymore. With the black chaos thingy, the vortex that attacked me, that's probably a sign of what's gonna happen if somebody doesn't do something to save the balance. And I'm sensing this coming on, because that's how it always goes in these things. That somebody is me. That somebody is me, because apparently I'm a strong shifter. Somebody has to find the Guardian, get him back in the tower and save the balance, and then do something about the Vanguard. Get them to see that they're screwing with things they shouldn't be screwing with. Hey, easy, I do that kind of stuff before breakfast. Jo, speichern auf jeden Fall angesagt. So. Das hilft mir jetzt trotzdem nicht weiter, was wir jetzt zu tun haben. Oh, dieses Geräusch da draußen klang wie eine Katze, die von der Ablage springt. In der Küche. Ja. Finde das jetzt eh nicht mehr raus. Zurück zum Thema. Ja. Und jetzt, was sollen wir jetzt machen? I
feel like someone's staring at me. It's Vestrum Tobias Grensrent.
Wir sprechen einfach nochmal an. Ich weiß jetzt wirklich nicht, was wir tun müssen.
What do you know about Cortez?
Your mentor? What has he told you about himself?
Not much. Nothing, in fact.
To learn something about someone, the best way to go about it is to ask them yourself. There is nothing I can do to enlighten you.
But who is he?
He is who he is. what he is. If he has not told you himself, then perhaps he does not wish you to know. It would be improper for me to divulge his secrets.
You're as bad as he is. No offense. It's just frustrating.
I understand. The next time you see him, tell him what you have told me. Maybe he will tell you the truth, maybe he will not. It is his choice to make.
Riesen Arschloch. So.
How am I supposed to...
The only way to get back is through a shift. You are a shifter, April, and the power to travel...
It might be within me, but it doesn't look like it's coming out any...
I wish I could help you, but I cannot. You must...
Okay, dann fragen wir Sie mal über Brian Westhouse, denn er ist ja der Typ, der uns zurückbringen
You know a
kann.
man named Brian Westhouse.
Westhouse? That old goat? Yes, unfortunately. What would you with him?
I need to find him.
I do not know where he lives. I hear somewhere on the outskirts of the city by the sea, but I cannot tell you any more than that.
Who'd know about Westhouse?
His whereabouts? I do not understand what you would with him. He is rude, uncultured, and ignorant.
Cortez told me to look him up.
Well, I do not know where he lives or frequents, but someone at the market may. He trades merchandise there, and I think he collects maps of the Northlands.
Who did you say I should see about Westhouse?
The map merchant at the market may know. There is one thing I must tell you, however. Few would know Westhouse by his real name. In the city, he is known as the Rolling Man, because of his strange two-wheeled vehicle. A most dreadful and dangerous contraption if I ever saw one.
A bicycle?
Perhaps. It has a grotesque appearance, much like the Westhouse himself.
Okay.
Do you mind
Fragen
if I
wir
ask you some
trotzdem noch ein
questions
bisschen über
directly?
Arcadia aus und dann sind wir am Ende dieser Folge
I will try my best
und
to
sehen
answer
uns
any
dann nochmal
question you
am
may have,
Donnerstag. Ich verabschiede mich jetzt schon mal so ein bisschen. What's the history of Arcadia?
There is so much I do not know where to begin. In truth, it
It would be wiser to ask someone else unless you wish to know about the fathers, the balance, or mudhoppers.
Mudhoppers?
My secret passion.
Passion. I studied them. They are most fascinating species. Most fascinating indeed. But I'm not pretty...
versed in the intricacies of history, I'm sorry.
So, ich überspringe das so ein bisschen.
What's Mercuria like?
I've lived
I've
in
been
this
city
city
all my life and still amazes me what it's...
what a diverse,
Okay,
exciting,
er
and
passt so schnell wie
wonderful
ich.
place it is. Many have called Mercuria the
Jewel of the Northlands, and they're right, but it's a diamond in the rough. A city this size can never be flawless.
There are always shadows and people who hide in them.
Lately the shadows have grown and darkened, and I fear the future, but Mercuria is still a wonderful place to live. What can you tell me about Mercuria? Mercuria is the capital of Irate, the unfilled country, and we are located on the southern coast of Northlands, halfway between Tyran and
Between
Khorasan.
the snapjaw and the gate beast, some might call it.
Okay, es wird ein bisschen chaotisch gerade.
And the fire. Yet democracy and peace,
Peace
have
have
reigned for thousands of years now, and although relations may at times be strained with our tyrant neighbors, the High Council are masters of diplomacy. And Lord Igvandelen is a firm and just chief counselor of the Iridan flag.
Tell me a little about Irede.
Irede means both unification and assembly in High Tongue, and many still call Irede the unified country, even though it is an age and a half since the lands of the north joined together in alliance. Irede stretches from the plains of Nedra in the north to the Great Sea in the south, and from the territories of Tyran in the west to the thick woodlands in the east. It is populated by humans and Dolmare, Tyran and a number of other races. It is even said that a tribe of Venar have a ring of trees in Riverwood, though I am not sure that is anything but a myth.
What are the Northlands?
The Northlands is
Is
a
a
collective
collective
term
term
for all the lands north of the Great Sea and
south of the border mountains, including Arate, Tyran, and Khorasan.
Before,
What
however,
the world's Northland was used to describe the entire. Wirklich nur genauso schnell wie er. Außer er macht ein Komma.
Some still prefer the latter interpretation of the
Name and the people of the Southlands, anyone hailing from the Great Sea in the Northlands, regardless. Thanks for
I'm
the.
glad I could have.
Can I ask?
Why, sir?
Thanks for the.
I'm glad.
Okay,
I'll see you.
You will, if you say so, then it must.
okay. Ende Gelände. So, in der nächsten Folge suchen wir also nach dem Rolling Man Brian Westhouse auf seinem Fahrrad und ja, auf dem Markt bei dem Kartenhändler. Und ich schätze, das wird noch ziemlich lustig, denn ich schätze mal, wir werden viel von Northland, Arate und Khorasan sehen, sonst würden wir jetzt nicht schon so viel darüber fragen können. Denn wir sind ja relativ erst zum Beginn unserer Longest Journey, unserer längsten Reise. Macht's gut, bis dahin. Also bis dahin, Quatsch. Bis am Donnerstag 20 Uhr. Gespielte Empörung. Wie die Elkur. Gespielte Empörung. Wir sehen uns dann am Donnerstag. Freudig erregt. Bis am Donnerstag. Emotionslos sprechend. Ich spreche emotionslos. Listig hintergehend. Ja, das frage ich mich wirklich bei den Elkor. Die drücken ja sowas, so eine Stimmung, freudig erregt, bla bla bla, ja, über ganz feinste Duftstoffe aus, die die anderen Rassen ja gar nicht wahrnehmen können. Ich trifft jetzt gerade einen Messeffekt ab. Aber wie machen die Elkor dann, sagen die dann listig hintergehend? Oder, lügend? Na, egal. Es ist eine blöde Frage. Na, auf jeden Fall. Bis am Donnerstag 20 Uhr, nächste Folge Let's Play The Longest Journey. Macht's gut. Bis dann.